All right, so I'm just going to spend the next 10 minutes complaining about the Skyrim factions and how disappointed I was in all of them. So first, we're going to start with the Fighters Guild. The Fighters Guild in Oblivion, and if you know, that Fighters Guild is in Oblivion, not Skyrim. We're comparing Oblivion to Skyrim. We could throw Morrowind up here, but I think Morrowind without voice acting, it's just such a different experience that, yes, these numbers are higher in Morrowind. I think really it doesn't make sense to include it. You could include Daggerfall, which has randomly generated stuff. Well, not necessarily. We're not going to talk about those really old games. I don't. I don't think they hold up today, frankly. I do love Morrowind. I always will. It's got a place in my heart. It's special, but that's just not what I'm talking about right now. So, the Fighters Guild has 35 members. This is from the wiki. This is just a flow chart of the quests, and here's a list of all the members in the different locations. The big ones are Anvil and Shadenhall and Leywin and Coral. Those are kind of the four locations. There's 19 quests, and these are some names you probably remember from playing it. The companions have 13 members. They're all in one location, and there's 6 quests. These are some names maybe you remember. Pretty much the only characters that matter whatsoever. If we look, here is the whole list of all the main quests. Everything else is some garbage radiant quest. Go kill an animal. Like go kill a bear. Seriously. This is literally go to a cave, kill a bear. Oh, sorry, this is the one invading a home. Go into somebody's house, kill a bear, and go back. You're done. And they're repeatable. Even ones that might be interesting, like stealing plans. You're searching a Silverhand hideout for information on the location of their headquarters. It never leads to anything. You go to the location, you get the item, you return. That's it. And you get gold. And they're repeatable. You can do these a million times. It's a complete waste. These are all garbage quests. And look at all of these names of people. None of these ones matter. You don't need to talk to them unless you want to train. You have Yorland and then these 5 people. So when I'm looking at this, Azan has personality. When you fail quests, he's disappointed in you. The orc, when he sends you, here, I'll go to the quest. When he sends you to do the noble's daughter, he says, wipe that smile off your face. He likes this person because he's an orc. He's proud of being an orc, and he understands that Lord Rugdumph is kind of a joke. They care when you do the Desolate Mind. It's not a very interesting quest, but he is pissed at you if you let those people die. And if you don't let them die, the voice actor shows he's happy that you let him live. Modron, he's the main character of the whole thing. He's got tons of personality. He's a painter. He convinces you to kidnap someone, torture them, and then they kill themselves. And then he convinces you to infiltrate that faction, to do drugs to infiltrate that faction. If you watch my stream, you know my opinion on drugs. There's tons of interesting stuff at the end of these quests here when you're doing the hist and infiltration. Then you go in and you kill the entire faction. Valena, she's the leader. We had the leader and her son of the entire faction. She's overprotective of her son. She's trying to lead the guild, but she's not doing a very good job. And her son goes in and dies. And you read his journal, and he's just this kid. And, maybe he's gay with his friend Edward. Maybe he's not. Maybe he just really admires him. I don't know. But there's tons of personality here. Maglir, he's angry because he's short. He wants to join the faction where they do drugs because he's just mad about being short. That's fine. And Vantis, this is just like a total side character. He's got 2 of his buddies, and they're drunk and disorderly, and they're mad that there's not enough work. He's got more personality than most of these characters. Ayla, she's just like a murderer. It's just, these people are not interesting to me at all. Obviously, some of this is just going to be my subjective opinion. Most of it is. But I do want you to see, without those Radiant quests, we're comparing 19 quests to 6. 35 members to 13. This quest is just not fleshed out, this faction. The companions are garbage. I think this is the worst faction in all of Skyrim. It's very embarrassing. It's a massive letdown. Next, we have the Mages Guild versus the College of Winterhold. So let me close these two. The Mages Guild is huge. Look at all these members. It's massive. 63 members, and when you go to the Arcane University, they have 17 generic NPCs walking around. There's a lot of people. And I know not all of us like generic NPCs. I think I think they can be overdone, but I think it works for guards. It works in this case because it makes it feel like, oh, yep, there's people here learning. There's people here teaching. There's a lot of people here. There's 8 locations, and there's 18 quests. The College of Winterhold only has 16 members. It's all in one location, and there's 9 main quests. Let's look at some of these main quests here. The first one is Visit. The second one is Join. Did I count that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The first one is Walk Up, like shoot a firebolt, and they let you in. The second one, Hold a Ward while Tolfdir shoots a spell at you. And it's unskippable. Walk around all the College of Winterhold. It's unskippable. You just take this tour, even if it's your 50th time playing the game, doesn't matter. Really, it starts with Under Sarthal. You finally actually get a real quest. You go get books back. You go talk to the Augur of Dunlane. You go to that Dwemer rune. You learn about the staff. You learn the location. You fight those 10 things in Winterhold, the containment. You go get the staff. That's actually a cool quest, the Staff of Magnus, and then you end it by killing Encano. That's like the whole thing. The primary quests are incredibly small and bland. The only reason the College of Winterhold isn't even worse than the companions is some of these optional quests are actually interesting. Arniel's Endeavor is pretty cool. It's got like 4 parts to it. It's this ridiculously long quest, and it ends with him like disappearing like the Dwemer did. There's too much to it, and I wish this was like more front and center, and it wasn't so annoying to get 10 Dwemer cogs. Like, if you have a really cool quest here, like this is one of the coolest quests they have, and it's optional. You don't need to do it. And not only that, the rewards. What are the rewards? Keening, which you'd think is good, but it's really not. And you can summon his shade and some gold. It's just, it's kind of a worthless, it's not worth your time, except for the fact that it's cool. Most of the rewards are that way. You know, we have these other optional quests too. Some of them are cool. The Radiant quests are never. The repeatable ones, stupid. Same as the Fighters Guild ones, or the College of whatever you call it. The companions, boring. The Mages Guild, people complain about these recommendation quests. I think they're really cool. You've probably, if you watch my stream, I've done them twice now, just on stream. You know, you go into the well, you get the ring. Obviously, it was terrible when I dropped the ring before the quest journal had updated, so I had to go find it. That was a big pain in the butt. But Fingers of the Mountain, I think, is one of the most boring ones. I was kind of shocked they showed that on Oblivion. It's like, this is like the least interesting quest in Oblivion, but you do have some choice. There's no combat, but there's something going on there. And I think it would be cool if the Fingers of the Mountain spell was powerful, because then it would be worth your time to read the book, and you'd maybe actually have a choice. Like, maybe I do want to go get a Welkin rune to get this unique, powerful spell. The Seer Stones are kind of interesting. There's a lot of personalities there, like Kalthar. You know, this missing mage, it shows you that, like, the Skingrad recommendation shows you that, like, the high up people don't care about the little guy. Thor's the little guy. And Adrienne just doesn't care. She's a terrible guildmaster. And each one of these recommendations shows you somebody's personality or multiple people's personality and kind of the politics and the lore of the guild. Then you get to Raminus Polis. More people even. You get to make your own Mage's Staff, which is a unique item. It's really cool. You get access to enchanting. You get access to spell making. And some people think you shouldn't need the Mage's Guild for that, and that's reasonable. And I think the DLC kind of fixed that. You could just spend gold if you really don't want to do it. You learn that the Count of Skingrad's a vampire. You get to go do this puzzle with the tower. I think it's very cool. You learn about Black Soul Gems, which are actually really powerful. And on a future playthrough, you can get Grand Soul Gems at level 1. There's no Grand Souls in the game, but you can turn them into Black Soul Gems. You can go do it because you've read about it in this book and you learned it from this quest. You know, some of these quests are a little more boring. You also get the Necromancer's Amulet, one of the coolest items in the game, the most powerful item in the game, I think. Yes, it drains your strength and endurance, but it gives you over 150 magicka, because it's 158 when you include the intelligence. It's temporary because you have to turn it in, but you don't have to right away. You could use it for a while and go do other quests. If you have the unofficial patch, when you complete the entire quest chain, it's in your closet or your nightstand, and you can go get it. So, we're not really talking about mods, but every time I play, if I'm not using that patch, I use it for a while. I'm not giving it up. I just stay on that quest for a minute because it's like, oh, this is a really cool item. There's cool things about it. It's got a big letdown. The final boss is a massive letdown. He should be about 10 times more powerful. He should summon 10 zombies. Oblivion's not perfect, but seriously, looking at all these members, I put on my spreadsheet here just some names that I remember. Even like Through a Night More Darkly, like the painting. Oh, wait, not the painting. This is the one where he's dreaming and you go into his dream. Falcar. There's a ton of names. There's a ton of people with personality that you learn about. Some of them you care about, some of them you don't. Where the College of Winterhold, this is being very generous. I don't care about these people. Savos Aaron was kind of interesting, but they should have made him a lot darker. And Kano's like the villain. I think he kind of sucks, to be honest. Mirabelle, she shows you around, and she's got some personality. Tolfdir, he's like the only cool character in the entire faction. The other students, there's like 3 students in this whole college. You got the orc. He's actually got some personality. I like the orc. Go get the books. Arniel Gain, I don't think is actually that interesting. He's just got that interesting quest. I think these other guys are kind of boring after that. You maybe have 5 names that actually mean something to me. The rewards, it's a bunch of shouts, a bunch of skill books, some mediocre items, weak spells. Not that interesting. I mean, compared to what you get, not important. We don't even need to talk about the rewards. I'm not talking about that for any other faction. We're moving on. I think the Mages Guild blows the College of Winterhold out of the water. All right, next we're going to the Thieves Guild. This is where actually for the Thieves Guild, I think Skyrim does okay. It actually competes. I think it's worse still. I like the Oblivion one more. But you could say you like the Skyrim one more, and I would respect that opinion. It's reasonable to have that. I just think these characters like Rune and Sapphire and Thrin, I think they're all really uninteresting, boring. I'm just not impressed, and I don't like all the optional jobs. These, what are they called? These Radiant quests, like the burglary job, the shield job. I don't care about any of these. And if you like these, then you really like the Skyrim Thieves Guild. If you don't, I think it's pretty lackluster. It's not interesting. There's the whole thing with Mercer and the betrayal. But really, the Skyrim Thieves Guild shines if you like these Radiant quests. They're not for me. I don't like them. But if you do, then this beats out the Oblivion Thieves Guild. The Oblivion Thieves Guild, I think, is really cool. I love that all of these build up to the ultimate heist. I think that's really cool. Stealing the Elder Scroll. Because to do it, it's not like you just go try and do it. You get Sevilla Stone, you get the Arrow of Extrication, you get the Boots of Spring-Heeled Jack. You need to do all these things first. And you meet a lot of different interesting characters along the way. I think the Skyrim Thieves Guild has kind of boring characters. I think really only Mercer is interesting. Carly and Brynjolf, I don't know. I don't talk to anybody else, but whatever. I think Amuse Methridil, the Stranger, the Grey Fox, is really interesting, especially like after he becomes the Count. That whole thing is interesting to me. Even like Ongar, like the World Weary, I enjoy him, but whatever. This one's more of a tie. I like the Thieves Guild more in Oblivion, but it'd be reasonable to say Skyrim. And last, we have the Dark Brotherhood. In Skyrim, some people think it's a good thing. Oh, I can destroy the Dark Brotherhood. I mean, who would ever do that? I don't know. Maybe you do. It's not that interesting to me. Like, sure, you should be able to do that, I guess, with any faction. It'd be better if you could just like go wipe them out, but it's not that interesting to me. I like to do the faction. The Dark Brotherhood's pretty good in Skyrim. I don't actually hate it like I do the Companions and the College of Winterhold. I'm not totally disappointed in it. I just feel the whole killing the Emperor thing's a little... Unlike stealing an Elder Scroll, you shouldn't just be able to go kill the Emperor. Stealing an Elder Scroll, it's like... I don't know. It's different. And it just really shows like the player character obviously can kill an army, can just do anything, is unstoppable. It's like, yeah, that's true in the game, but here it's like, it's expected too. Like, obviously, you can kill 1,000 people because you're the Dragonborn, and it's just not that interesting to me. I don't like it. I think that the characters are kind of boring. Astrid's pretty cool. I don't like Cicero. It's just that's not my type of thing. Some people like it. I think that the amount of characters and the amount of lore that comes from the Oblivion Dark Brotherhood and the twist with Matthew Bellamont is so interesting, is so cool. And even there's a ton of stuff that you probably don't even know. Like, gosh, what does this say? When you read his journal, you're learning all sorts of stuff from him. What did he do? He killed all the people on, what is it, Serpent's Wake. So he even writes in his journal. There's like, on Anvil, there's a dock and there's a quest. It's a haunted ghost ship. He killed all those people. And like, there's nothing in the game that really tells you that, except his journal when you do the Dark Brotherhood quest. Like, there's just little stuff like that that's really cool. You know, the Oblivion Dark Brotherhood's got 15 members if you don't count the 5 you kill. They each sort of have 2 locations. You know, Cheydinhal just changes so much, or you could count Fort Farragut, where the Skyrim one like has Dawnstar and the original one. There's a bunch of Radiant ones in the Skyrim one. I don't really care for the Radiant quests. Like, go kill a guy. I feel that the ones in Oblivion are more unique. They're cooler. You know, nothing compares to Whodunit. Like going around and killing all those people. I could list all of those people in this. The people that you kill are far more memorable. Like, do you really remember Narfi? Like, where's the Skyrim Dark Brotherhood? The people you kill in Skyrim. Yeah, maybe you remember Narfi. I don't remember any of these people. I don't care about them. I remember dropping that thing on the guy's head. I remember Valen Dreth in the Dark Brotherhood quests. Of course I remember Valen Dreth. He's my old friend in the Imperial prison. You know, I remember the guy faking his death. A lot of these are just more interesting. Bad Medicine with the bonuses where you're stealthy. You're required to be stealthy. You know, I should have talked about that more at the Thieves Guild. That's probably my biggest problem with the primary quest in the Thieves Guild. You never need to be stealthy. And that's just really boring. I already closed it because I was kind of done talking about it. It's only if you're doing those optional or Radiant quests that you need to be stealthy. And I think that's a massive letdown. It's like they didn't want to not let some barbarian do the entire Thieves Guild. It's all just go do a dungeon crawl. That was very disappointing. Dark Brotherhood isn't as bad because, like, yeah, to kill someone and get away with it and not have to pay a bounty, you need to be stealthy, I guess. But I don't know. I don't remember really running into that problem. Where this, it's not just you get a bounty that's the problem. Like, if that's all you're getting, it's not that big of a deal, but you get a bonus item. And sometimes it's a unique item. Not even one that you equip. Like in the Valen Dreth one, Scheduled for Execution, you get this Scales of Pitiless Justice, which is just a permanent buff that you always carry around. It's a totally unique, powerful item. Very cool. So you want to do it. It's awesome. Obviously, it's got that big twist. The purification. You go kill everyone that you've been talking to. You know, I already talked about Whodunit. I don't even need to talk about Whodunit. If you've never done Whodunit in Oblivion, stop watching my videos. Go play the game right now. Do the Dark Brotherhood. Like, it's awesome. And there's so many different ways you can do it. And, you know, I did it on stream with Grandpa, and I made a bunch of mistakes, and it was glitchy and silly, but even that was a ton of fun. So try it. Do the Dark Brotherhood. It's a great quest line. I do think it's a little overrated. People who like fanboy over it a ton, but it's a blast. The Oblivion Dark Brotherhood is a great time. The Skyrim one, mediocre. So I think for all 4 of these factions, Skyrim loses. The only one I'd even respect you if you think is better is the Skyrim Thieves Guild if you like those Radiant quests. I'm not really a fan of those, but it's fair if you like them. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for listening to me, bitch. Have a good one.